The one that we're gonna do right now is from the page Mojo Plays. I think we've reacted to them before, if I'm not mistaken. We're doing the 20 best fighting games of all time. I saw this on the list, had to click on it, obviously, because y'all already know. We've had discussions about Marvel's Capcom. I've told y'all about Def Jam. So if, you know, it got to be on the list. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if we reacted to this before. I feel like we have, or at least something similar. I know for sure we had a video where Marvel's Capcom 2 was on it, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yes, we're going to do that one right now. So let's get started on this one. Okay. All right. Let's see what they talk about.
Welcome to Mojo Plays, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20
All right,
best
right
fighting
there.
games of all time.
What we got? Dark Stalkers. That's good right there.
For this list, we're going over the absolute best
Oh,
games
Power
that ever
Stone?
exist. Have you played
Finally.
any of these titles? Which ones
Oh, that's
had you and your
tough.
friends going another round or 5? Share with us in the comments below.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
War of the Monsters.
War of the Monsters. Actually, I think this was for the PS2, no? I feel like I've seen this
As
game
kids,
before.
we long dreamed of having our own kaiju-sized fights against friends. Arcade games like Rampage gave us a taste of that, but when it comes to monsters fighting each
Rampage
other,
was
War
my
of the
shit, too.
Monsters was everything we had been wanting.
Okay. Is it just like robotic
Up to 4
chaos?
players can duke it out while leveling builds and avoiding
Yo, meanwhile, look at
environmental
like all the
hazards.
fucking
best part
tanks
was the
and
diverse selection of monsters to choose. From
helicopters
giant
around
eyeballs to
getting
robots
demolished.
to mutant animals and insects. Needless to say,
Was
if
that
there was
Gundam?
a monster fight you wanted to see, Bug versus Bot or Sweet
Oh,
Tooth versus
shit.
a giant ape, War of the Monsters delivered hours of fun.
just pure chaos.
Def Jam Battle for
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I knew this was going to be on it. It had to be. It just had to be.
You want a fighting game with some attitude? While the first Def Jam game was a brutal and badass gem of a
That's a
brawler,
fact.
its sequel, Battle for New York, was so much better.
That's a
Just like
fact.
with the first game, Battle for New York was packed with a roster of 67 fighters, featuring some of our
67,
favorite
dang.
rappers and hip-hop artists.
That game, greatest game ever. I don't care. I don't care. I could
Like Busta
argue
Rhymes,
anybody.
Flava Flav, Carmen Electra, Ice-T, and even Snoop Dogg. Come on, it just ain't a party without the dog, right? Of course, with all these music
Right.
artists came a sick selection of songs to jam to while we deck our friends across their faces. We just wish
Facts.
GameCube players weren't missing so much of the awesome soundtrack.
Facts. The soundtrack. Oh.
Power Stone 2.
Another. Yo. I'm like. Yo. Mojo.
The original Power Stone
Y'all-
featured a new formula.
y'all
for
list
fighting
right
games,
now
one that
is-
saw 2 characters tossing items at
It's
each
looking
other
good.
and collecting power-ups to finish each other off. Power Stone 2 simplified
Power
things
Stone
by
1
removing
and
the
2 was
combo
fire.
system, but offered up another features to make up for this removal.
This game was fire. You get to like transform into like a
In
mega
addition
form.
to a handful of new
and then
playable
they have,
characters, as well as most of the
special
original cast
attacks.
being present, it
That
was
game
now
was fire.
possible for up to 4 players to
was
participate in the mayhem,
Dreamcast.
making fights much more chaotic. For Dreamcast owners, this was definitely a game to bring to parties.
For sure. And I got put onto it randomly. Like, I remember my
Persona
uncle
4
and his
Arena
mans
was
was
next.
playing that shit. And I just got hooked. Persona for Arena.
The original Persona 4 Arena was a surprisingly good spin-off for the Shin Megami Tensei series.
I've never seen this
boasting tight
game.
controls, an intricate narrative across its 13-character roster, and a combat system that perfectly translates Persona's style and concept. So why does the sequel, Ultimax, make it on here instead?
Okay. I've never seen this. This game look kind of dope though.
Well, for starters, it features more characters with unique playstyles and moves. On top of that, it is much more balanced.
This
than
does
its
look kinda
predecessor,
dope, though,
and
I'm
the
not gonna
story
lie.
perfectly closes the story arc of Persona 4. And this goes without mentioning the fantastic art and animation of co-developer Arc System Works, who you might see a couple more times on this list.
That's tough.
Darkstalkers: The Night Warriors.
Never seen this game. This is like a Marvel vs. Capcom 1 type.
For a time, Capcom was one of the giants of the fighting game genre, particularly in the 90s. In addition to the full realization of one particular franchise, Capcom created another 2D fighter that featured more of a horrific yet goofy aesthetic. The first Darkstalkers featured a small yet humble roster of weird fighters, like Morrigan Ensland, Felicia, Lord Raptor, and
Okay,
Sasquatch.
I mean, there's
and
not
you
that
gotta
many,
witness these
but
beasts brawl it out on
it's
some
still
vibrant
something.
settings. While it isn't as deep as later Darkstalkers titles would become, this one was a great way to introduce new players to the world of fighting games. The King of Fighters 13.
Oh, this is tough. I like the graphics on this shit. It's kind of like a 3D slash 2D.
One of the best entries in this juggernaut of a
like
franchise.
animation.
This is largely due to its streamlining of
That shit
much
in the
the
middle of
motifs
London.
present in its predecessor,
Fire.
and in its place applying refined versions of some of the series' more popular
They be
features.
some of these games, I'm not gonna lie, they be knowing what they doing with their characters. Like Sis is, come on, I understand they in the middle of a desert, right? But just like, come on now, like at least you could put a tank top or a shirt. Like they know. These game niggas know what they doing. Freaky ass.
Sure, story mode is practically impossible to follow unless you're a veteran of the lore, but that doesn't take away from its beautiful visual style and vastly improved controls. Fans will most certainly get a kick out of letting loose with so many crazy, colorful combos, not to mention another chance to check out Mai's magnificent set of, we'll call them techniques.
Yo, so these people just in the middle of eating their fucking dinner and the whole fight is just breaking out? That's crazy.
Injustice 2.
What do you have in mind, lady?
Word.
How about slaps and tickles at 10 paces?
After the successful reboot of another legendary fighting game franchise,
I didn't know
NetherRealm
Hellboy was
Studios
in this
was
shit.
tasked with creating a DC fighting
I
game.
ain't know Ninja
While
Turtles was in
Injustice:
this
Gods
shit.
Among Us saw monumental success in 2013, its 2017 sequel managed to improve upon the formula
Scarecrow?
while
Tough.
delivering an excellent narrative
Tough.
and borrowing cues from NetherRealm's flagship franchise, who we'll get onto more soon. As for the roster, well, now you can see Batman and
Give this
Superman
game
take on the likes
fatalities,
of even more
telling
heroes
you.
and villains like
They
Gorilla
would've killed the
Grodd,
market.
Starfire, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Fucking
Turtles. Plus, the
Raphael
inclusion of clear
slicing
skins allowed
some
even more characters to be added.
fucking
without
character's
the
head
extra
off.
work of having to rebalance the game.
I know. I'm not crazy, I swear.
Project Justice.
Okay. Damn, what? This is like a...
Poor
This reminds me
rival
of like
schools
Soul
has long been
Calibur.
neglected,
Like Soul
but
Calibur
Akira's
2 and 3.
inclusion as one of the final DLC
Give me that
characters
type
for
of
Street
vibe.
Fighter V has helped open some folks' eyes. Whereas the original Rival Schools was more of a traditional fighter with some small tag assist elements, the sequel,
Utica.
Project Justice, went a bit more crazy with it.
That weak ass kick.
New mechanics like the party up and team up abilities made fights a bit more based on meter management.
Was she
while
playing
creating
tennis?
A visual spectacle of brutal attacks. As for the story mode, events could alter depending on the outcome of certain fights.
I feel like
In
I
other words,
played
losing
this.
A fight did not necessarily mean a loss in progress.
Huh.
Crossing our fingers for Project Justice or Rival
I
Schools
definitely
in
kinda
general to be
remember this.
revived.
I don't know, but I
Samurai
definitely feel like I
Showdown.
played it. Alright, this game looks dope.
Of the SNK games, Samurai
at that
Showdown
background.
as a
That shit
franchise
nice.
has withstood the test of time.
You can
thanks to
definitely
how
tell it's fall
different it is
season.
than most fighting games. The 2019 revival showcased its calling card perfectly. This wasn't a game that wanted you to build up crazy.
Is she
combos.
naked?
It's a fighting game.
The hell?
application,
You see what I'm
acting
saying?
more
Like,
offensive as you study your
random
opponent's
as hell.
movements.
You know damn well they could have put a shot. Yo, they just got her yeeks out. It's crazy.
With even light attacks dealing significant damage, there isn't much room for error here. Find
Conclusion.
your openings to disarm your adversary and then finish them quickly. Needless to say, Samurai Showdown perfectly replicates those classic samurai duels we've seen across TV and movies, while offering a complex and risky combat system.
I'm liking how this game looks though. This is tough. I've never
Tekken
seen
3.
this. Of course you gotta put Tekken. Hell yeah. This is one of them, like the most long-lasting fighting games.
The series may still be going strong, but no one can deny
My son-in-law
that the
was a
turning
beast in that
point
game,
for the
hands
series
down.
Came when Jin and his fellow newcomers took over.
aka the Bruce Lee. Yoshimitsu was lit too.
With far superior graphics, a huge boost to
Oh,
the character
Eddie was
roster,
type fire
as
too
well as
with
much
his
greater depth
capoeira.
given to the actual fighting, especially in terms of movement. This set the standard for all Tekken games that followed and remains one of the most successful games under the banner of the original PlayStation. We'll just
Interesting.
forget that Tekken Ball was ever a thing.
And it's like the music for the games too is what complements it. That
Blaze
shit
Blue
makes a
Central
game, I'm
Fiction.
telling you. This is like a SNK kind of vibe. Not gonna lie.
It was honestly really hard to choose which Blaze Blue game to put on this list. Our original top 10
That
featured
character was
Calamity
interesting.
Trigger, but later entries like Chrono Phantasm
You know,
Extend and
you know something I wonder? How do they come up with their outfits? You get what I mean? Like, how do they think about what to put on the characters? What looks good on them? Like, are they like, yo, this fit gonna be fire on her, and then on top of that, we gonna give her some big ass titties? Like, what? Like, how do they come up with this shit? I need to know the thought process behind it, because I need to know how they come up with like just the physics, the fits, how they gonna get up their fighting styles. Like, yo, it gotta be. Nah, I don't know. I
Cross Tag
there
Battle
gotta
had
be
their
something
own
going
level of
on,
fun.
because
However, there's something about
some of
Central
them be
Fiction that
bugging.
keeps us coming back. The roster of 36 fighters featured a ton of familiar and new faces, each just as fun to play as the rest of the cast. Plus, there's that insanely expansive story mode that rivals even fighting games with bigger budgets. It's also the Blaze Blue title that has seen extensive support, unlike the rest of the series, seeing a Switch port in 2019 and planning to implement rollback netcode for the Steam version in 2022.
it definitely looks like, in regards to
Dead or Alive 5
gameplay, it
last
looks
round.
eye pleasing. Dead or Alive 5. I forgot which. I think
Even
I
though
played
we
Dead or
would
Alive
see 2
3.
other versions before
3 and
this one,
4,
Last Round
if I'm not
was,
mistaken.
and still is, known to be the superior rendition
Dead
of
or
the
Alive was-
franchise, save for
it was
the
dope,
Xbox
though.
360 exclusive Dead or Alive 4. Last Round was the ultimate revival Dead or Alive had been needing, adding in 4 characters to the roster, expanding upon the cosmetic customization,
My son,
and improving the
Ninja
visuals
Gaiden
by
was my
upping
man
the
in that
ante, the
game.
resolution to
I don't know
HD,
what his name
and
is,
bringing
but
the frame
I
rate
remember
to
him as
60
Ninja
frames per
Gaiden.
second.
Oh, she cooking her shit.
It also featured the same level of action, humor, and sexiness that Dead or Alive has been known for. With the 6th main game being such a disappointment, one can see why folks have flocked back to Last Round.
Oh, all that, and
Mortal
she just
Kombat
kicked in the ankle.
2011.
Which one is this though?
Now this is how you
I mean,
relaunch
Mortal
a
Kombat in
franchise.
general.
Quite literally taking everything back to the beginning, this reimagining not only brought with it the classic characters we all know and love, but surrounded them with an immense amount of bloody and brilliant content.
For sure. I like the fact that they add like random characters into Mortal
With
Kombat now.
fatalities and newly introduced
Like
X-ray
Ghostface
moves
from
that redefined
Scream,
stylistic violence,
Freddy
it had
Krueger.
an online mode that had the whole world battling against each other, as well as a narrative that, gasp, was actually well written and proved that Western fighting games could have good stories. I know, right? Mortal Kombat 2 may have raised the bar, but this one shot it into the stratosphere.
Yikes.
Soul Calibur 6.
6, really? I would have thought they'd put like a little bit of the early ones. Not gonna lie.
Look, Soul Calibur 2 will always have a special place in our
you
hearts
see?
for its visuals, controls, and inclusion of weird guest characters.
Right.
However,
They had,
Soul
like,
Calibur
Yoda
6
and Darth
managed to
Vader
blow
in one of
everything
them.
out of the water. In addition to strange guest characters like Geralt of Rivia, Tubi, and Samurai Showdown's Heyomaru, Soul Calibur 6 featured an insanely deep character customization, allowing players to create almost entirely new characters, or weird renditions of pre-existing ones. Why not?
Word, I ain't know that. You can create your own character in that shit? That's dope that they added that though.
And if the regular Soul Calibur story mode wasn't enough single-player content for you, the Libra of Soul campaign offered dozens of hours while centering the story around your custom character. With fantastic controls, a meaty roster, and spectacular visuals to boot, Soul Calibur 6 is the definitive experience in the franchise.
Here you go.
Oh, damn.
Killer Instinct 2013.
They made a whole Killer Instinct in the 2010s? I just know the one from Super
The revival
Nintendo.
of Killer Instinct was not an easy road, but the final result made it one of the best fighting games ever made. We'll have a soft spot for the original
That's my son
1994
Balrog
title, but the
from
2013
Street Fighter.
edition was practically a pioneer. Killer Instinct provided the same level of hyperactive action fans knew it for, while
kinda
also
fucking with this, though.
incorporating tools and tutorials that helped ease new players into the game, regardless of when they jumped in. Shadow attacks gave players new and sick ways
Oh,
to
nah,
end
that's cheat
combos
code.
or string them longer.
That's cheat
Simplified
code.
Ultras ended fights in musical and climactic ways, as did Ultimates, and the music from Mick Gordon shined spectacularly. If you love fighting games, you absolutely need to play Killer Instinct. Skullgirls.
This is definitely brand new. Never heard of this. 2012.
There are several fighting
Okay.
games in the indie marketplace vying for our time and money,
Indie
and a lot of them
marketplace,
are
no
really
wonder.
great. When it comes to Skullgirls, though, there hasn't been anything like it.
Making the incision.
I like that music. Okay, that's type of a vibe. Giving me like
On
Marvel's
top of
Capcom.
borrowing and evolving ideas from tag team fighters that came before it, Skullgirls has been the indie fighting game that has only seen more success as the years go by, and rightfully so. The online netcode is some of the best on the market. The addition of new characters expands on new ways to play while offering unique mechanics, and the hand-drawn animation
That's
and art
dope.
style make it one of the most beautiful fighting games you can get.
I do like the animation. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder how many characters.
Majesty.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Ooh, that's a good one. I hope they made this recently because I'm not gonna lie. I will put Sparking Zero here too.
Fan service. But in terms of hardcore fighting, there just hasn't been a Dragon Ball game with as much love and care put into it as Dragon Ball Fighters.
Until now. My opinion.
Once again, Arc System Works manages to deliver with exceptional animation and visuals, replicating the look and feel of the anime. Fighters also featured a unique combat system where pulling off combos rewarded you with the legendary Dragon Balls, eventually allowing you to summon Shenron himself. Couple this combat system with a hearty
Really?
helping of post-launch support with DLC characters,
That's some
and
shit.
you've got a Dragon Ball game that every fan needs in their library.
I do like the 2D style of it.
Street Fighter II: The World Warrior.
Oh, absolutely. I forgot about that one. How did I not mention that? That's like one of the key pinnacles of fighting games.
The Street Fighter
Damn near
franchise
set
has
the
seen a wealth of
foundation.
great games like Third Strike and the Alpha
My
series.
opinion.
Even Street Fighter V managed to bring in fans, albeit after some drastic improvements were made to its story, content, and quality of life. However, fighting games just wouldn't be where they are today if it weren't for Street Fighter II.
I'm trying to tell y'all. OG System 2. Y'all already know, one of my favorites,
Unlike
Super
the slow
Nintendo.
and clunky original Street Fighter, the second game was faster and more visually impressive, while allowing players to string attacks together. It set the scene for competitive gaming as well, with some organizations still holding tournaments of this game to this very day. For Street Fighter II, age has only strengthened it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2: New Age of Heroes.
If it wasn't for Def Jam Fight for New York, in my opinion,
In case that repetitive title music didn't
I
clue
would
you
say
in,
this is
game
the
will
greatest.
indeed take you for a ride.
But it's
Despite
hard,
The recent
'cause
sequels
I-
trying to capture what made this entry so
I
accessible.
don't know.
Nothing has quite
It's-
managed to
it's
live up
either
to
or
it,
for me.
Especially
If
the
you said this
experience
one or
of
that one.
unleashing the fury of your favorite three character tag team and lighting up the entire screen with hyper combos in glorious 2D.
right.
With its massive roster containing everyone from Spidey to Ryu,
Nah, yeah, the roster is crazy on this one. This, I'll definitely say, is up there for me. Like I said, you could argue Def Jam, for me, you could argue Def Jam being the greatest or one of the greatest. Actually, definitely one of the greatest, but the greatest fighting game. And you could definitely argue this one being the greatest fighting game, in my opinion. I don't know. It's a good argument for both. I'm not going to lie. We actually have played this on stream, videos on the channel. So make sure to go on the YouTube. Check this out. If the video is on YouTube right now, check out the video. Go back. All right.
and every A to C-list character in between, along with its iconic art style, this was undoubtedly Marvel and Capcom's biggest bout.
For sure. And the fact that they allowed it to be played on the PS5
Super Smash
now,
Bros. Ultimate.
Oh yes, this is another good one. They cook. Yo, this list, they cooking. I'm not gonna lie.
We know
All right,
everyone has
Mojo.
their favorite Smash game. Speedy players will stick to Melee, while Subspace Emissary fans are still going back to Brawl. Retro fans are going to play 64 every once in a while, as Smash
Facts.
4 fans explore the different ideas that game holds. Ultimate, on the other hand, you can't ignore how massive this game has become.
Right. They really added Sora and Sephiroth. That's when I knew they made
Between
it.
the extensive
Like,
selection of
Super
stages,
Smash Bros.
the
made
roster
it.
of 89 playable fighters, the unique take on
89?
classic mode ladders, the customizable game modes, and how spirits throw in more characters from various IPs. Smash Ultimate isn't just a fantastic fighter, it's a celebration of video games as a whole. And even
Word.
though the DLC is done, we'll be playing it until our Switches break.
For sure.
Check out these other great clips from
That's
Mojo
it?
Plays.
Oh,
and be sure to
shit.
subscribe and ring the bell
Okay.
to get notified about our latest videos.
All right. Well, man, gotta make sure I like the video. That was I did like that last one. Yo, this was a good list. All right, Mojo Plays. I'm fucking with it. All right. There are some of the stuff sometimes that I disagree with y'all on, but I'm liking that. I'm liking that list. All right, y'all did y'all thing. But yes, definitely for sure Super Smash Bros, Marvel's Capcom, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Def Jam, Street Fighter for sure. There was some other ones. I did like the Supergirls. I'm not sure. That one actually looked really cool. I forgot the other name of the other ones, but those games did look really dope. So I'll give that. Good job, Mojo Plays. I like that. All right, let's move on.
Alright, I'm playing. I'm going to bed.